Can you look at the camera?
And then I posited what memes could replace the current government that would do a good job, like if the memes themselves could hold office. And out of that insanity came this list.
So we have an entire list.
We did so much research. A good 45 minutes.
Yeah, this is I think the most thought went into this bit out of everything else. Out of all of the bits that we have done.
Oh, nice. Okay. It showed up on my screen. Does it show up on yours for...
I don't know. I don't think so. The recording is usually just your face and my face, except last week when we played...
yeah.
When we played Jackbox on Twitch. But that was different.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Would you like to start us off?
Yes, for President of the United States. I'll explain both these because these ones were my idea. So actually, maybe the first. Yeah, the first three were my idea, so I'll explain them. So, for President of the United States, good guy Greg. He's a good guy. How could you not want him for president? And then for vice president, I was thinking.
Wait, that's your whole.
He's a good guy. How could you not want a good guy?
Okay.
He'd be a good president.
Okay.
For vice president, bad luck Brian. My thoughts here were a little bit that, politicians tend to be corrupt, and so I was thinking that I needed some kind of representation of that. And I was thinking that bad luck Brian, although the meme is usually him trying to do something normal or good and then failing miserably, I was thinking, what if, as bad luck Brian, he tried to do really terrible things and messed up horribly? So like he tries to do something really terrible and then it turns into something good. Like, I don't know, like attempts to start war, achieves world peace, like something like that. And then for the third one, for the Speaker of the House, I picked Nyan Cat because in America, the current Speaker of the House is Nancy Pelosi, and I thought of Nancy Pelosi because of Nyan Cat. That was it.
Why are you always trying to make a pun out of Nancy Pelosi's name? This is a recurring theme, like in your life.
It's so easy.
It's scary. It's scary.
There's so many things that rhyme with the word like man, or just the sound nan. Like, I don't know. Pan.
So many things. Names two things.
Yeah, like, she could go to the beach and become Tansy Pelosi. Like, it's. I got a million. Not a million though, because there's not that many letters in the English alphabet. I could create new consonant sounds to continue, but that would be carrying the joke way too far.
Yeah, calm down. Okay.
I just didn't want to lie on the internet by saying I had a million jokes.
Anyway, the next one on the list, the next one on the list is mine, and that is, we'll start with the Secretary of State. Our Secretary of State is Ugandan Knuckles. I had to put Ugandan Knuckles on the list. There's no reasoning behind it. He'd be a great president, though. Or a great Secretary of State.
I mean, he'd be really good at addressing, members of other countries. Like, you just start every speech with, "My brothers."
Yeah. Okay. Probably.
Hopefully spitting isn't considered, super rude in certain of those cultures, though.
I mean, it probably is.
Probably is. We might have some international gaffes with him as the Secretary of State.
So the Secretary of Defense, though, that was a good idea. The Secretary of Defense is Katz. From what was it from? It's from what's the name of it? It's like Zero Wing or something.
Yeah, Zero Wing.
So from Zero Wing, it's Katz saying all your base are belong to us. So the all your base are belong to us meme is our Secretary of Defense.
Yep. A strong military.
Everyone's base is just already ours.
Yep. We own them now.
They have no say.
For the Secretary of the Treasury, because they're over the IRS and everything. All the things, drawing from hyperbole and a half, because they would need to tax all the citizens.
Okay.
Should we be going faster through this?
I don't know. Probably.
I feel
The
like we're
secret.
a little
What?
slow.
Okay. The Secretary of Education is this a pigeon guy from some anime? What do you know what anime he's from?
I don't know what anime he's from.
He's from an anime, but he's looking at a butterfly and asking, "Is this a pigeon?"
My favorite version of that is like they redo it so he looks like Eric Killmonger, and then they turn the butterfly.
Oh, is this your
into
T'Challa?
Yeah, to
this
T'Challa.
your
Like,
king?
is this your king? That one's definitely my favorite. All right, it's your favorite for the Secretary.
Yes, the Secretary of Transportation is Dad Boy.
Why is it
Everyone gets a unicycle. That's it. That's the new transportation plan.
We'll cut down on carbon emissions with unicycles. For the Secretary of Interior, we have the "This is fine" dog that's in the burning house. If you don't know that meme, you should look it up because it's amazing. It's just a dog drinking coffee in a burning house, and he says, "This is fine." People use it to explain their
when things are not fine.
Yeah, especially like during finals week, I see that a lot. And when people talk about like student loan debt or whatever,
It's fine. It's not fine.
it's fine.
It's for the Secretary of Health and Human Services, of course, it is distracted boyfriend.
Why is that?
Why is that?
I didn't understand your reasoning.
Okay, so distracted boyfriend is distracted by the usually like to him like more attractive like
Okay.
whatever it is, like the stock picture is like a different woman who is like conventionally more attractive. So for the Department of Health and Human Services, he's distracted by something that could harm him. Also, in every instance of that, whoever he's with looks like they're going to hit him, which is detrimental to your health. If you've ever been hit, it's bad for you. Don't get hit.
I got hit once, and I contracted
And now you're
30
dead.
diseases. I got 30 different diseases just from contact with another human being. That's why I live in this bubble.
That's why you live near those boxes.
Yep. It's just me in these boxes.
And that wall. And that shelf with books on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you have in your life.
For the Secretary of Agriculture, we have the Ancient Aliens guy because crop circles. And that was literally the only reasoning. Not because he'd be good at it or anything, just, crop circles and aliens. So he was our choice.
And for the Secretary of Labor, since there's always construction going on, no matter where you live,
Oh,
there's some
that's
construction,
great.
like road construction especially, no matter where you are, there's construction happening. So the Secretary of Labor is, I'm gonna let you finish Kanye West. Because he's gonna let you finish, but it could be a while.
For the Secretary of Energy, we have the Irma Gerd girl / meme. And admittedly, this one also doesn't have a great reasoning. It's mostly just that I thought that like the in energy reminded me of the in Irma Gerd. And that's it. That's all. That's my entire reasoning.
That's
It's
it,
pretty
really?
bad. Yeah, that was it.
Pretty terrible reasoning.
We were
Gotta say.
running low. We were running low on fitting memes, and there's so many positions in the government to fill.
There's not that many.
There's a lot.
It's not that many.
Look at this list. This is a long list.
It's not that long.
It's pretty.
You're
long.
just suffering. Builds
Uh,
character.
For the Secretary of Commerce, we have condescending Willy Wonka, and I thought that that would be fitting for like, I don't know, economic deals with other countries, being like, oh, like,
China.
yeah, like, I don't know,
Something in my
like,
throat.
if we think that like our products are better than theirs or something like that. Ah, I see you made a car. How nice.
Just one car.
Yeah.
Um,
It also
Oh.
could have been for like we could have used him for the Secretary of Defense, in relation to like nuclear arms.
that's true. I
They're
didn't
like,
think
oh, you
that.
built a nuclear bomb.
Now, I think the all your base belongs to us makes more
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, it is better.
Okay, this one was mine. For the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, the little girl standing in front of the burning house, smiling at the camera. Housing and Urban Development. Get wrecked. Little girl burns down your house. Homeland Security was your idea, I think.
Yeah, it was the had to do it to him guy.
Why though?
Just like, I mean, that seems like a good reasoning. I feel like the Department of Homeland Security tends to be more like, I mean, it seems like kind of like retaliatory against like terrorist threats, etc.
Right, the Department of Homeland Security didn't exist until after 9/11.
Yeah, so it like, had to do it to him, like, but I feel like that vibe
Okay.
is what I got.
So who's the next one was yours as well, the Attorney General.
It's Charlie Sheen.
Winning.
Yeah, because he's over the Department of Justice.
Because there's not a Secretary of Justice. It's just the
Yeah.
Attorney General.
All I do is win, win, win.
See,
Even though
this
those are two separate things, but I feel like people associate it with Charlie Sheen sometimes.
I mean, I don't, but I can see why people would. So I guess so.
Winning.
Okay.
The House
of Representatives is lolcats.
Yes, because there's so many
lolcats.
different lolcats, and there's like a bazillion members of the House of Representatives.
A bazillion. Do you know how
A
many
bazillion.
members of the House of Representatives there actually are?
Like 459, something like that. I'm probably off. It could be 478.
Okay.
It's somewhere in there.
The Senate is People of Walmart. If you don't know what People of Walmart is, either go to peopleofwalmart.com or just go to your local Walmart and look at people. People of Walmart.
It's an actual website. Just
Yeah.
People of Walmart. I had no idea.
I think it still exists. I'm gonna check right now.
I can't check. I have to make sure these boxes don't go anywhere.
Yep, peopleofwalmart.com still exists.
I'll have to look at it sometime.
It's terrifying. Yeah, it's still scary. It puts you on page 1 of page 2666 because of course it does.
Wow. Who's uploading to it? Is it just like anyone?
I don't know. I guess you
It's
can.
all one guy.
No, you can search by state.
His
There's photos, stories. So it's a blog. So there's photos, stories, hate mail, videos, and you could submit. Apparently there's also books.
I'm interested in the hate mail. Like, is it from people who were photographed and didn't appreciate being photographed? Or is it from Walmart? Exclusively Walmart executives.
This one says from the 19th of June. It says, you should be ashamed of yourself. You are nothing but a bully. You should be disappointed in yourself. I cannot fathom how you get joy out of making someone else suffer. Grow a heart, a conscience, and a soul. Learn some morals and values.
I would have to actually look at the website to see if I agree. I don't think I do.
This is only 15 pages, but this is just basically people being upset on the internet about things.
Yeah. Because I mean, it would be one thing if he was posting like
their names,
posting like like their names and addresses. Like, yeah, that would be jacked up. Like that's not cool. Like, and admittedly, there are some laws about like taking photographs of people and like consent with that, but you know, if it's not tied to anything.
And sometimes people at Walmart isn't even the people themselves. It's like pictures of stuff that's happened in a Walmart.
Yeah.
It's scary. Walmart's a scary place. So, the Senate, people of Walmart. I think all 3 of these were mine.
Yes.
The head of the CIA is Evil Kermit. And the head of the NSA is None of My Business Kermit. Because head of the CIA has, they would argue that they have good intentions, and then they end up doing things that are ill-intentioned, you could argue. And the head of the NSA has None of My Business Kermit because of all of like the wiretapping scandal that went around. What was that, like 10 years ago now?
Yeah, honestly.
It was a while ago, now that I think about it. There was a big wiretapping scandal before like Siri, and everyone had an Amazon Echo and a Google Nest and a whatever the other ones are.
Yeah.
Because now you don't need to wiretap people's houses. You just get the information from that.
Yeah.
I really liked the argument against that was against like taking pictures of people like running red lights and stuff. Somebody argued in the district that it was, or no, it was in Virginia, that it was a violation of privacy, and that's why there are no speed cameras in Virginia. Because they took it to like the Supreme Court of Virginia, and the court like ruled in the person's favor, and so there are no speed cameras in Virginia because of that. But people are like, oh, like, you know, speed cameras like take pictures of your face, and like don't unlock your phone using the like face unlock feature because then the government has your face. And I'm like, you have a driver's
The government
license,
has
right?
your face.
Like, you have a driver's license. That's got your face on it, right? That's a government issued ID.
Well, then someone needs to take down the Virginia section of People of Walmart because it's a violation of privacy.
And last but not least,
that same person
should get themselves photographed in a Walmart in a compromising position, and then
yeah, and then get it taken to the Supreme Court of Virginia.
imagine being the judge that has to like listen to that though. That has to listen to that case.
They're like, wait, and then the judge is just laughing. They're like scrolling through the website and they're just like laughing the whole time.
I imagine that as like a similar thing as like the big scare about like Area 51, that all these like people on the internet are actually gonna like try to enter Area 51 on like September 20th or whatever the big general date is. And then it cuts to that picture of there's like a meeting between some generals or something, and there's like a PowerPoint presentation
of the Naruto running.
The Naruto run, and some like second lieutenant is like doing the Naruto run in front of the presentation.
Yeah, that was
this is like a legitimate fear of the government, though, is like that people are gonna try to like raid Area 51 essentially. So some guy somewhere had to explain with a straight face to some general somewhere.
Yeah, it was
even if it's not that picture.
Meeting, I think. Someone commented about how they were like actually in that meeting, like when it was
like
happening.
You have to explain what a Naruto run is to like some general. Like this is now your life.
Can you imagine just like a massive horde of people Naruto running towards a military base, like not armed with anything? Like
I can, but I don't want to. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's not necessarily worrying, but it's worrying.
I think like it sounds really funny to me in concept, but the truth that I'm afraid of is that like the military would use like force.
Force.
Yeah. And there's plenty of like non-lethal force crowd control stuff, but even then, like it's unpleasant.
All right. Well, on that terrifying note,
I will tell you something though. One of I forget who it was. We have one more in the bit, but there was some like. I think one of my Boy Scout leaders, when he said that when he was in college, they were like learning about subsonic signals or whatever, and they built like a little gun that would like kind of like make this sound, like a sound at a frequency that people couldn't hear but would affect them, and it would like make people nauseous. So they would just like point it at people in their class, and then people would like start clutching their stomachs and be like, "Oh, it's pretty terrible." But that's just one of the things that you can do for like crowd control stuff. You can just make people feel nauseous, and then they won't want to fight you.
Okay.
Anyways, I was just thinking of non-lethal crowd control.
And tear gas didn't come to mind?
No.
Anyway, so the last one, not necessarily a member of the government, but an important government figure, no less. The guy who created WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, is as Rick Rolling. Because, of course, if you know what Rick Rolling is, it makes sense to you. If you do not know what Rick Rolling is, look up Rick Rolling, then it will make sense to you.
And you'll possibly get rickrolled by the internet.
Someone.
Yeah.
At some
Someone
point.
rickrolled me through AIM. Oh, it was Fox in high school.
How? Why?
He messaged me on AIM with like a link. I clicked on it and then I got rickrolled. And it would like the thing that popped up would jump around your screen every time you tried to click every time you tried to close the window. So you couldn't really catch it.
That's terrible.
But yeah. I didn't know about Task Manager at that point because I wasn't good with computers and everything. So what I did was I managed to just slowly expand the window till it couldn't jump anywhere because it was filling up the whole screen, and then I closed it. But
modern problems require modern solutions.
I do like that meme.
The Rick Rolling meme?
No, the modern problems require modern solutions.
Oh, from
I can't cite any specific ones, but I've just
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, seen a lot of good things on the internet.
Alright. That's it. We only did the main members of the cabinet. There are other like secondary and like tertiary members. Now that I think about it though, now that I look at the list, I should have done them in order of like the presidency. Like who's in line.
Because right now, if Good Guy Greg and Bad Luck Brian die, then Yan Cat becomes president.
Yeah.
Sentences you're not expecting to hear every day. Terrible thing for our D&D session last night. We were teaching this stone golem that we have, sort of, that we befriended. We were teaching him to paint. Or we asked him to paint us a picture of something, and then he was like, we asked him if he wanted anything, and he pointed at the paintbrushes because he wanted to paint more. And so we left him with some painting supplies. And then I was like, now we need. It's like we need a flesh golem of Bob Ross to teach him to paint better. It was very terrible. They're one of the worst D&D creatures, honestly.
Flesh golems?
Yeah. They're kind of like Frankenstein in terms of their design and feel. They're like weak to fire and they're immune to lightning. So.
Also, this is weird to think about.
I'm sorry.
So I imagine the flesh golem like from Diablo 2, but like with the Bob Ross face.
Just the hair.
That's worse. Ugh.
There are no mistakes, just happy accidents.
That's a mistake. Thinking about that was a mistake. Jeez. Well, if I have to think about it now, everyone else does too. Alright, where are my notes?
The last place you left them is the worst response anytime anyone asks where something is.
Also, with the saying something is in the last place you look, because of course it's in the last place you look, because after you find something, you're not going to continue looking for it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Right?
Yes.
I mean,
Not wrong. I've just never heard anyone say that before.
that something was in the last place you looked? Or that you never heard someone say that's in the last place you looked?
Nope.
Okay. Anyway. So, do we want to break up the genres? We'll make a little chart as we break them up.
Yeah.
So what would you say are like the main like shooters is the overarching category. It's on top. That's on top. And so my personal definition of a shooter is, and you can make arguments like for and kind of against this, but my personal definition, to me, a shooter is at its core a game that is about shooting things, like where you must shoot to progress. Like it can have some like kind of light puzzle elements, and like of course it can have like a narrative and on and on, but the key component is that the game is about shooting. Like you must shoot something or someone or whatever to progress.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll break up that into first person, third person, top down, and scrolling.
Yeah, like side scrolling.
Or up and down scrolling, as we discussed off air for things like Galaga.
Yeah, and there's separate like sub-genres even within that, because there are side scrolling, there are like vertically, or there are horizontally side scrolling bullet hells, but those aren't necessarily the same like platformers.
Right,
Like
and a bullet hell can be a shooter, so it's like a subgenre of shooter.
Yeah.
But it's like a subgenre that exists like within like there's, I mean I might be wrong about this, but I don't know of any like first or third person like bullet hell shooters. And a bullet hell shooter is
I don't know.
If you hit once, you die. The game's over.
Yeah, and you usually have like lives.
True.
Or like, Gungeon is a bullet hell, but it's also
in that any damage you take, in that any damage you take, it will deal 1 damage of some kind to you. Yep. But on that note, we're gonna cut very early today. If you have anything in first, third, top down, or scrolling categories that you would like us to talk about and to mention, please let us know in the comments. But with that, we are going to end early today. The Dr. Z Show.
Adios.